So I'd love to hear how the people analytics team at Uber's been involved in decisions around space utilization, office configuration, and any changes that Uber's made since the pandemic to its offices.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful frontier for people analytics, and there's a lot of work that can be done here. We're dipping a toe in it. It's probably the best way to describe our work here. But there's a lot more that we can do. I get really excited by the topic. For us, offices continue to be central to our view of collaboration, and also how we think about our cultural identity. It's a place where our employees can build a sense of community, engage, and collaborate with one another. And so that linkage between the data and the people analytics and the workplace and workplace design is a really important one. To give you an example, David, in the second half or so of 2020, we began asking our employees through continuous listening about kind of the advantages of working from home versus working in the office. What are the trade-offs? Even getting into detail about, hey, what types of spaces do you value most inside the office? And that information was insightful. It also helped inform a lot of how we're designing the workspace. And we partner very closely with our workplace and real estate team. Some of what we learned was that what employees valued most was the informal interaction with their colleagues and the improved collaboration that happens when you're in person. Right? Maybe not surprising, based on that, the rooms they value most were the kitchens and social areas, where we have great food and snacks, but it's also the collaboration that comes in those places, the serendipitous moments, those impromptu conversations where a great idea sparks, and the collaboration areas. And our workplace teams, the design teams, and the real estate teams have done an amazing job taking that kind of feedback and running with it. So when you look at the design of our office spaces, particularly the larger ones, what we think of as talent hubs, there are a couple of key elements that they're baking into those to make them attractive places where people want to come and collaborate and ideate together, but also that reinforce our cultural identity. Going back to some of those topics I mentioned earlier, we were trying to optimize for, productivity, collaboration, community, those areas. First, many of our spaces have an activity-based work design that encourage natural movement, where we can move to different places to do the type of work that we need to be doing in the moment. So maybe it's at a desk, maybe it's in a conference room, maybe it's out in a solarium or a library or a coffee bar. I need more interaction with folks. I need less interaction with folks. I need a quiet space, a loud space. So it really encourages that natural movement. It also reinforces our culture, where we have a mission to change the way the world moves for the better, right? So it's encouraging that movement, it's reinforcing our culture. We've incorporated fitness centers and interconnecting stairs to guide employees to move around, right? It also really helps with our well-being at the same time. There's a tremendous amount of social and collaboration areas, and reinforcing what we saw in the data. When we think about the importance of D&I, we've designed our spaces to be inclusive and representative of the diverse workforce that we have. So all gender restrooms is a good example of those. Care rooms and nursing rooms, which is an important design element in our workspaces. But also, having design that evokes and reinforces our culture. Going back to the spaces, when we get together in these spaces, we want places that reinforce kind of who we are as a company. Uber kind of exists in this nexus between the digital world and the hyper-local, right? Where we can go anywhere, get anything.
Yeah. And
there's a local flavor to each office that's really a celebration of the city that we're a part of. So you have these design elements that invoke movement. It's part of our mission, but also a celebration of the local area that we are. It might be Mexico City or Amsterdam or New York or Chicago, San Francisco, whatever it might be. And so it's been a real pleasure to see that interconnection between people analytics and workplace design. And I also think there's just a wonderful frontier there as we're at just the very beginning as a world really of this hybrid work movement.
In this series, we will be speaking to a range of senior leaders who are pushing a data-driven and digital HR agenda. Make sure that you subscribe via your podcast app of choice and also via our YouTube channel for free and regular interviews with the digital HR leaders of the future.